welcome. This is Health Matters with me, Dishan Kumar, and we are here in Petaling Jaya. We are at the KIWANIS Down Syndrome Foundation National Centre, and today's topic is going to be children who have Down syndrome and the education program set up here. And we're actually going to talk to a parent about their experiences handling their own child who has Down syndrome. Join me in today's episode. This is Health Matters with me, Dishan Kumar. Alright, thank you for joining me. This is Health Matters with me, Dishan Kumar, and we are in KIWANIS Down Syndrome Foundation here in Petaling Jaya. So we are actually going to be talking about educating Down syndrome children, and with me today is Joy. Thank you, Joy, for joining me today. So Joy, let's talk about the centre. Maybe you can give us a brief about KIWANIS Centre.
KIWANIS Down Syndrome Foundation National Center started, the idea of setting up a center for children with Down syndrome started in 1988 by a group of Kiwanians from KIWANIS Club of Kuala Lumpur.
Wow, 1988?
Yes.
I was actually born in 1988, so that's a long time ago.
4 years
4 years
old
old,
then, yeah. They were thrown a challenge to come out with a long-term project, and hence they come out with a KIWANIS Down Syndrome Foundation. So the first class started in 1989 with about 12 students.
Okay.
And then now 30 years later, it grew, the numbers grew into about 140 students.
You guys have 140 students.
And we have moved here in our own premise in Taman C. So we have our classroom facilities, therapy equipment, we have therapy rooms, sensory rooms, and we have resource and library center. We do have our waddling pool for our swimming and hydrotherapy sessions, and we also have halls for meetings and events.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what type of programs do you guys offer? You guys are a center for Down syndrome. Maybe you can talk about the programs and such of what you guys actually do for Down syndrome kids.
KDSF offers early intervention program for children with Down syndrome from 2 months to 6 years of age.
Okay.
And that includes...
From 2 months?
Yes,
okay.
From babies.
Oh, wow,
yeah,
okay.
So that includes physiotherapy, occupational therapy services, and special education services.
Okay.
And
talking about early intervention, why was this called early intervention? Because as we all know, Down syndrome is something, like you guys, like you said, 2 months to 6 years, was it? 2
Yes,
months,
6 years.
To 6 years. So, in what do you guys actually do? I mean, it's quite interesting when you say 2 months. 2 months, does the child actually react to different types of stimulants or pictures or things like that when they're even 2 months old?
Yes, they do. From babies, like for us as a therapy, we actually look into the basic development of their milestones. So like, for example, as a baby, how do they feed? How does the mother feed them? Whether it's through breastfeeding or through bottle feeding. So we actually assist the parents when it comes to
So even
their
breastfeeding
feeding.
is different for a child with Down syndrome, is it?
Yes, they will have some difficulty when it comes to their breastfeeding due to their muscle weakness around and inside their mouth and some poor awareness around their mouth.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay. So we can say that when the child is born, is already everything is completely different from. Okay, let's say a family, a mom and a dad have a child, a normal child, and then the second child is a Down syndrome. It's going to be a very different experience for both children, or is there going to be some similarities as such?
Well, of course, babies, they are still babies, right? And we always tell parents like they are blessings. So whether your child is neurotypical or maybe with Down syndrome, we always congratulate you, especially your parents.
Definitely.
And
but the whole experience of them actually having, it starts when the child is born.
Yes, from the time they are born.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Maybe you can go into what you do exactly, specifically.
Okay, so like in the center, actually we apply more on holistic approach, meaning we look at the child's holistic development. So we are
Okay.
not into specific part of their areas of development.
Okay.
We look into their gross motor development, fine motor development, cognitive development, socio-emotional skills, their language skills, also their sensory skills. Yeah, so these are actually very important components for a child to be able to develop well.
How is those skills that you just mentioned, how is that different from a normal child and Down syndrome? What are the differences that we can see?
There's not much difference actually. Even a typical child will have all these developments. It's just that for our children with Down syndrome, it takes time for them to learn, right? I always tell parents, we will get there. It's just that it takes time for them to be able to get there.
I think patience is very also
Yes,
an important part.
patience and a lot of hard work, both from parents and the kids itself. Yeah, so and there should be a lot of support from around the family itself.
Okay, maybe you can give us an example of what you do specifically when you work on a child. What are the few things that you see Down syndrome kids, children and babies and things like that? What is one of the first things that you see as a physiotherapist? One of the first things you say, oh, we'll need to do something about that.
All right, so like I said, number one, as a baby, when they come to us, we look into their feeding skills.
Okay.
Yeah, so because feeding is your number one survival skill.
Okay.
So we pay so much attention on how they suck. We have this reflex that we call it sucking, swallowing, and breathing patterns. So we pay attention into that to assist the parents, help the parents how to actually work with their child. We teach them some oral motor exercises or things like that to increase awareness on the child's mouth and also to improve their sucking skills, for example.
So when you do, or you say you have a session to try to improve a child's motor systems and things like that, does it vary with every child? At every time it's different?
Oh yes, it still varies from child to child. Yeah, among all those 150 students that we have, we always do individual setting of goals, individual activities. So it all depends upon the child's development.